walks in a mall and her highest values are children, when she walks in a mall, she'll see children's things.
Yes.
If an entrepreneur walks in a mall, he'll see business materials.
Yes.
He won't see children's stuff.
Correct.
Whatever your highest values are is what you see in the world and what opportunities you can take advantage of. You can't see opportunities for building wealth if you don't have it at the top of your value.
Yeah. John, what I'm hearing through our conversation tonight as well is criteria for leadership. I'm hearing, first of all, you know, to some extent, the fact that you're responsible to incubate what this business is about, what its highest values are, and you have to model that in front of everybody else. So in order to be an entrepreneur, there are the elements of loving what you're doing and doing what you're loving, but I see a far broader scope of responsibility that you're starting to layer for a person who sees themselves as an entrepreneur or who finds themselves being promoted to a place where they now hold a top position in a corporate. I'm hearing that ability to be able to not only go after some of the pragmatic and practical elements of the business, but also the people side, in being able to be a coach, because you're able to draw and to elicit out of people their best for where you're going to take this company. And I'm also beginning to hear in your ability to be able to really see this go beyond, you know, a handful of people sitting in the business, that there's a whole lot of other things that you're going to be giving attention to and holding, and very much for you to be a leader. Some of these are non-negotiables that you've got to go through.
That's absolutely true. You know, it's interesting. I have a principle I call the ripple effect. And the ripple effect is an exercise that I think every business can benefit by. And that is basically looking at all the different impacts that you really have by doing the service that you do. Because there's a whole lot of things that you don't realize that you do. Let me give you an example. I'm just going to throw a little simple example. I did this with a young boy from a township that was extremely impoverished. There was a little boy, young teenager, who thought he was a nobody. Okay, and I'm just going to use this as a metaphor now for businesses. And he said, you know, he says, I just live in a you know, here, and I don't do much. I don't have much of an influence. And I said, have you ever bought a bar of soap? He said, yeah. I said, when you bought that bar of soap, was it wrapped in plastic, a little cellophane? He goes, yeah. I says, who manufactured that soap? He said, I don't know. I said, do you think that somebody had to gather the materials in order to manufacture that, and then find the dyes and the colors to get that, and then have resources from that? He goes, yeah. Do you think that they had to use transportation to get that to the factory to make that? He goes, yeah. Do you think there had to be people that actually worked there to make that? Yeah. So those are jobs. So when you buy that soap, you're actually giving jobs to people. He goes, I never thought of that. And he says, and when they're doing jobs, they've got to have a warehouse to do it, and they've got to have equipment to do it. They've got to mill that and create that, and they've got to transport that. And I started to make him look at all the jobs that are impacted when he buys a bar of soap. And when I got through with him, I showed him that every country on the face of the earth was directly or indirectly affected by one purchase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The ripple effect. Sir Arthur Eddington said, when the electron vibrates, the whole universe shakes.
Yes.
And so what happens is, here's a boy buying a bar of soap. Now take a company and look at what a company actually does. And when an employee working in a company just goes to work and doesn't extract meaning out of that work, it's just a job. And they're just doing it, and it's redundant. But if all of a sudden they know that they're impacting people, touching people's lives, making a difference. I've spoken in front of millions of people. One thing I can get from every single person out there, whether they're in a prison, whether they work for a police department, whether they're in a children's educational system, a municipality, or entrepreneurs, it doesn't matter. One thing that is common to everybody in that room is they want to make a contribution. They want to make a difference, and they want to be loved and appreciated for their contribution. That's universal. So if you can show them, as in a company, what they do and how it touches the world, and how many people's lives are changed, and what the meaning is, they will take on that position completely different once they see that.
Yes.
It's a small shift again in just changing people's perceptions about the value that they're adding, not only to themselves, but to the business and to the greater universe as a whole.
And the moment they do that, their requests for bonuses and requests for incentives and all this stuff, those are symptoms of unfulfilled people.
Right.
When people are feeling fulfilled, they don't request that. They can't wait to go to work. They almost feel like when somebody's inspired by what they're doing, they almost feel like it's, oh my God, I can't believe I get paid to do what I love. Yeah. That attitude is what people throw into a company, makes the company grow.
Yeah.
So anything you can do to give them the ripple effect, anything they can do to find meaning in their daily activities and their vision of the company, anytime they can keep records of what they do accomplish, to be grateful for every day, you're just catalyzed the human element, the human factor of putting the soul back in the corporate body.
And it's not just about the ripple effect of what you're doing for yourself, for the business and for society. It's ultimately a much happier person. I mean, you think about really waking up in the morning and throwing your hand in the air and going, wow, this is an amazing day I'm looking forward to, and getting home at night and feeling this is an incredible day. It's good for your health. It's good for your life, just all around.
All 7 areas of a person's life, their mental development, they have a desire to learn things that are meaningful to them. They have a desire to learn. Everybody wants to learn what is highest on their values. And that's what's most meaningful in their life. So they automatically are more innovative and creative and generate ideas and take on initiative when they're doing that. That is automatically more career success, more financial rewards, because who's going to throw away a person that works like that?
Yes.
No, they're going to grow.
Yeah.
They're valuable. They're indispensable.
Yeah.
That's the affirmation everybody ought to have in their company. I'm indispensable to planet Earth, right? I have something big to do here.
Yeah.
And then they also, when they come home, they're fulfilled. When you have more energy at the end of the day than when you started, you've been doing what you love.
Yes.
If you're drained at the end of the day, you know, it's been proven recently that you can't overwork if you're doing something you love.
Right.
The Monday morning blues and the heart attacks and all the things that go with that are people that feel like they're pushing uphill the rock uphill. That don't feel like they're doing something that's meaningful, don't feel fulfilled in their life. That's what it is. But I know people, and I know a guy who's 84 years old. He loves working. He's been running one company since 1951. He works just full on. 80-something years old. He looks like he's 60. Full on. Loves what he does. Got more energy than most 50-year-olds because he's inspired by his work.